Hello everyone, I'm Thais and today I'm here to do my August wrap-up. I read a total of 12 books this month, but most of them I read during the Booktubeathon. I read 8 books during that week, and then for the rest of the month I only read 4 books, which is ridiculous considering how much I read on the first week. But in the end I did read quite a lot and most of the books were pretty amazing, so I think it's safe to say I had a pretty good reading month. Since I've already done a Booktubeathon wrap-up, I'm only going to briefly mention the books that I read during that week and the rating that I gave them. But if you want to know my opinion with more details, I'll leave a link to my Booktubeathon wrap-up in the description bar. The first book that I read was The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read The Ruins of Gorlan by John Flanagan. It's the first book in the Ranger's Apprentice series and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Whatnot by Stephen Bachman. This is the second book in the Peculiar Duology and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read Liar's Ink by Paula Stokes. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Steven Chbosky. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Next I read The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read the most amazing book ever, and that is Visuals by V. Schwab. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. And the last book that I read for the Booktubeathon was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars as well. Alright, now moving on to the books that I read after the Booktubeathon. The first one that I picked up was City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is the last book in the Mortal Instruments series and it was so good. I loved how even though this is still an action-packed book, we got to see a lot of the relationships between the characters. I had all the feels while reading this. I thought that it was a great ending to the series, and even though this is one beast of a book, it's like 700 pages, I read it in 3 days, so it was pretty fast. I just couldn't stop reading. I just couldn't give it less than 5 out of 5 stars. Since I was still on kind of a Shadowhunter kick, I picked up the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was an entertaining read. There are annotations from Clary and Simon and Jace all throughout the book, and I thought that they were very good additions. They were pretty hilarious. The only thing that kind of bothered me was that most of the things that we see here are things that I already knew from reading The Infernal Devices and The Mortal Instruments, so it got a bit boring at times. But there are also things that I didn't know, so I thought that it was pretty interesting. I also really love the illustrations that are present, so I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read the last book that I had from the Shadowhunter world, and that is The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Maureen Johnson and Sarah Rees Brennan. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might have noticed that Magnus Bane is one of my favorite characters ever, so I was so excited to finally read these short stories. Even though there were some that I liked more than others, all of them were so amazing. I loved how they balanced well humor with drama and things like that. I think that seeing all these moments in Magnus's life made me understand his character a lot better, and I particularly enjoyed the ones where we got to see characters from the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. Those were definitely my favorites. In the end, I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. Finally, the last book that I read was The Burning Bridge by John Flanagan. This is the second book in the Ranger's Apprentice series. I thought at the beginning of this book was a little bit too slow. It took me quite a while to get through it, but the last 100 pages or so were pretty interesting, and that's nearly half the book. A lot of the things that happened I wasn't expecting, and with the way that this book ended, I think that the third one is going to be so much better. I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. So that's it guys, those are all the books that I read in August. Let me know what was your favorite book of the month. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!